90% of the people that are in the top right now were born there or born close to it.
Right.
They had mountains of privilege
Yeah.
before they made it.
What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for being with us today. This is the Deviance Welcome podcast, brought to you by Volatile Patience. I'm John, and with me, as always, my co-host, Sel. Say hi to the people, Sel.
Hi, the people.
Fantastic.
You better work. Come on, girl, work. Move to the left, work. Sachet. Shantae.
Okay. Okay. That is on the podcast now. The people will hear that.
Okay.
First and foremost, let me apologize. I am slightly congested today, so you're just going to have to deal with me. I saw an interesting interview today. I didn't see it. I heard about it on quite a few headlines this week.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, Kim Kardashian has advice for all the women out there.
All the best advices from Kim K, huh?
And, yeah.
What's
What's
her middle name? I just always wondered if like her middle name is something like Christina, so her like initials are
I don't
KKK.
think so, no. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I'm gonna say, first and foremost, as a disclaimer, I know that Kim is going through a lot of shit with the whole Kanye thing. Apparently, he's flying off the fucking handle.
I mean,
so like, I want to put the disclaimer out there, right? I hope she gets through that safely.
Sure.
And I don't actually wish her any ill will or bodily harm.
Sure.
But for the next half hour, I'm going to rip on Kim fucking Kardashian. Just so we're clear. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. I hope this Kanye thing gets put to bed and you and your family can be safe.
Yeah, I mean,
but for the next half hour, we got to talk.
There's a world of difference between like you came out with some shitty ass opinions and you're getting dragged for it versus like you have an abusive, maybe not necessarily abusive, but an off the rails ex,
right?
Who
Absolutely.
is off the rails, and you don't know what the outcome of that could be, and it is scary, and that those are viable feelings. You know what I mean? Like that's
absolutely. So I hope you're safe, but we got to talk about something here. And what I want to talk about is this interview that she did with the family, I guess, for Variety.
Okay.
The quote she had, which was, the best advice for women in business is get your fucking ass up and work.
Uh-huh.
Nobody likes to work these days. Or I'm sorry, nobody likes to work nowadays.
Uh-huh.
Mind you, as she's saying this quote,
sure,
she's wearing plenty of gifts of products,
sure,
clothes, shoes,
yeah,
that are gifted to her from various upscale brands.
Okay.
Right. So she didn't pay for any of that stuff. It was given to her.
Oh, cool.
Because she's a walking billboard.
Sure.
Right. If Kim Kardashian is wearing your stuff,
sure,
well, you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
But get your fucking ass up and work. Nobody wants to work. Nobody likes to work nowadays. It's hard to take. Like, and I'm not a woman. She wasn't speaking to me.
Right.
But initially, I'm like, you have a nanny for all your kids.
Right.
Which gives you infinite time to do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
Right? Why would you say something so out of touch? Like, do you genuinely believe? Is she one of those rich people that believes that every poor person just doesn't want to work?
Right.
Does
Probably.
she really
I
not?
mean,
Like,
that's what they're raised on. That is what the wealthy are raised on as children in order to be able to fucking sleep at night. Because if they had their if they knew that all of their comforts were built on the exploitation of everybody else, then either they would have to contend with the moral ambiguity of that, not ambiguity, the moral fucking like, what's the word I'm looking for? Infringement? I don't know.
I guess.
Of that. Or they'd have to cut the notion of morality out of themselves entirely, completely.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's their options. Or they believe some fantasy that makes it seem like they deserve to have all of this comfort, while all of the people who don't have that deserve to not have it.
Right. I absolutely deserve this and you didn't, because, or you don't have it because you don't work hard enough.
Right.
Well, let's be fair. I saw the video. Ray J did most of the work. If I'm being perfectly honest, Ray J did most of the work.
I didn't even bother. I didn't even do the work necessary to watch it because everybody that was talking about it was like, it's kind of boring.
It was. It was. It was very boring. Maybe, I guess that's an interesting point you make. I guess cognitive dissonance works for the rich too, right? They are born into this, so they have to believe that they're somehow earning this, and so they don't feel like they got handed something unfair.
And definitely need to emphasize, they are born into this.
Right.
The vast majority of people who are your top dogs in whatever industry it is didn't come from the bottom.
Nope.
Those people who come from the bottom are the ones that are like handpicked every now and again in order to carry on the mythology that's how it works.
Right.
If you work hard enough, you can climb to those upper echelons and be there among all of the movers and shakers of the world.
Yep.
That's not how it works. 90% of the people that are in the top right now were born there or born close to it.
Right.
They had mountains of privilege
Yeah.
before they made it.
I mean, she was raised in Beverly Hills, an exclusive Beverly Hills community. She had a father who was very famous for being on the defense side of a very popular trial. Do you know what that trial is?
Yeah,
Sal,
it was
Mr.
the
History
O.J.
buff?
Simpson trial.
Right.
If it don't fit, you must acquit.
and that may have been the most high-profile court case of my generation.
It was the most high-profile court case ever, as far as I know.
Okay, so definitely.
Yeah.
And
it was like
he was on the winning side.
It was this is breaking ground into the notion that court cases can be high profile.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
oh, I mean, it was huge. It was everywhere. Yeah. Everybody knew about it. I actually, when I was in, I believe, 6th grade, I was playing in a school play, and I got the role of the judge.
Okay.
And for a brief minute, they were actually going to let me be Judge Ito.
Oh, no.
Until they decided it was in poor taste.
It probably wouldn't land well, right?
Right. You know, but yeah, for a second, it was like that in a 6th grade play. It was that high profile. So she obviously did not start from the bottom.
Right.
Right. And like every time I hear that Drake song started from the bottom, now we hear.
Right.
I think, motherfucker, you were on Degrassi.
Right.
When you were a fucking, teenager?
Teenager, yeah.
The fuck out of here.
Fucking, possibly even before actually being a teenager in the earliest seasons of it.
Right. Another quote from that interview, she said on whether or not she's like famous just for being famous, which, yes.
Yes.
She said, we focus on the positive. We work our asses off. If that's what you think, then sorry. We don't have the energy for that. We don't have to sing or dance or act. We get to live our lives. And hey, we made it. I don't know what to tell you. You made it.
That means her personal assistant, her nanny,
But like, we made it.
Her secretary.
No. You had it from the word go. You didn't make it. It was there for you.
All of the people she hired who actually do the work that she gets the spoils from.
Well, wait.
That's the we.
The day she was born, her net worth was more than mine.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
That I've built to this point.
Right.
Like,
right. Yeah.
You did not make it.
Right.
It was given to you.
Right.
It was there when you got there.
I mean, Daddy died and he had like $30 million net worth or something like that, I believe was a tweet I saw. I mean, that's my source. It's a tweet. Speculation, fucking, I've got no confirmation of any of that. But, even 10% of that
right.
would be more than I got.
Like, and don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming people who are famous because they're famous. Because like it's the same thing with pro athletes. Do I think pro athletes need to be paid as much as they do? No. Am I faulting the player for that? No.
No, if you can get it,
money,
get it.
Right?
Right.
Kim, I'm not telling you can't go make your money.
Right.
Right? Go make your money. I'm not going to knock on you for that.
Right.
But don't pretend like you know what it's like to live how the other half lives. And
Right.
don't be giving advice like that.
The other 99%.
Right. Don't pretend like you can even presume to give advice to people when you have no fucking clue.
Right.
You haven't had to struggle a day in your life.
Right.
You don't know what that's like.
Right.
And rich people always want to tell you, oh, well, you know, money isn't the key to happiness and we have problems too. You know what? I can't think of a single problem off the top of my head. I'm sure if I took a lot of time, I could.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, gun to my head, I could not think of a single problem that I have that $1 million wouldn't solve like that.
Oh, instantly. Yeah.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
Because even if you're talking about like if I had emotional problems with my significant other, I don't.
Right.
But even if like that were the case,
Sure.
right? Personal problems.
You can actually afford a therapist?
Exactly. I can afford a therapist. Shit, I can take some time off work so
Right.
I'm not so damn tired.
Right.
And I can devote more energy to my relationship with my family.
Right.
Again, you know, full disclosure, I actually have a great relationship with my family. That's pretty cool. But we
if
have to
you
work
didn't-
on it. And if I
right.
had days off work, it'd be a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We could spend more time together.
Sure.
It would be amazing if I had Kim K money.
Sure.
I mean, shit, if I just had Robert Kardashian money, because like, let's face it, Kim K has far out earned him by this point. I think her littlest sister is like the youngest billionaire ever.
Sure.
And I don't remember which one of them, but one of the Jenner
Yeah. Yeah.
kids, the little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a makeup mogul and a
Right.
model and an influencer and
Sure.
It's really hard when rich people, privileged people want to tell anybody, hey,
Anybody who is not rich and privileged.
oh,
Right.
well, this is the way it is. And
Right.
you just got to earn your way. But it's like, how'd you get there again? Oh,
Right.
my family was rich. Oh,
Right.
okay.
Right.
So it helps to have a rich family too.
For sure.
Like,
And again, like the vast majority of of the cases of people out there like that are like that. Like Elon Musk was a fucking, you know what I mean? His father like owned emerald mines in apartheid South Africa.
oh, I did not know that.
Fucking Bill Gates or what his parents were like upper middle class on the, you know, lower upper class threshold.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like they helped fund his starting IBM in his garage type shit.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? Like
Must be nice.
all of these people that are like the big dog movers and shakers were already in the top tiers of society or close to it when they were born.
But you just have to work, right?
But you just have to work.
You just gotta put the work in.
And look, don't get me wrong. Like they did work, they did innovate, they did come up with some shit that like people decided was worth money and dumped money into them. You know what I mean? If nothing else, they ran a solid hustle. Right? But at the end of the day, they ran all of that and built that inherited wealth based off of the fact that they had the inherited wealth to build to begin with.
Exactly.
They weren't struggling to fucking find money to pay for, you know, rent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I'm not trying to say I went through just to look at the other side in true Deviance Welcome fashion.
Sure.
I decided to try to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And I read like what a day in the life of Kim Kardashian looks like.
Uh-huh.
And like she's got 4 kids.
Uh-huh.
From what I understand, she has custody of all of them.
Uh-huh.
So like she gets up, she works out, she gets the kids out to school, she comes home, and she does any of her the woman hustles.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
She's got hustles.
Sure.
She's got a bunch of different businesses. Some have been
Right.
successful, some have not been, but she's hustling and she's raising kids.
Right.
So I'm not saying she doesn't work. I'm not saying that hard work, just like you said,
Right.
hard work is part of it.
Right.
But it's a whole lot easier to hustle when you have the money to give you the time.
Right.
Because if you're not trying to build your hustle while you're working 40 hours a week to support yourself so you can live
Right.
and then hustle,
Right.
it's a whole lot easier to accomplish.
Very different animal there.
Right.
If you don't have to worry about your car breaking down,
Exactly.
then your hustle is a lot more productive.
So much more productive.
If you have somebody that goes and does your laundry for you, your hustle is more productive. Because I'll tell you what, the woman in my life right now hustles her fucking ass off, but most of that hustle is, laundry, household cleaning, couponing, all of this stuff that like is all really cool stuff. But like a lot of it is just life stuff.
None of it is a revenue source.
Right.
You're not making money for that.
I mean, she's got some stuff that's revenue sources,
of course,
but she can't dedicate the time to that.
Right.
That I'm not going to say she would like to, because a lot of those are just old things that she was hustling on in the past.
Right.
That still work for her, and more often than not at this point they're more of an annoyance for her than anything else, right? But like she's going nonstop,
right,
all the time, and most of it is just life shit. If you have somebody that handles the vast majority of that life shit, you have 8 to 10 hours of your day more than this woman who hustles all the time.
Right. Exactly. And that leads right into some of the Twitter response that we got, because some of these were fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the ones that really stuck out to me was Jessica DeFino. I believe I'm pronouncing that properly. It says, I was an editor on the Kardashian apps in 2015 in LA. Worked days, nights, and weekends. Could only afford groceries from the 99-cent store. Called out sick more than once because I couldn't put gas in my car to get to the office, and was reprimanded for freelancing on the side. So, and I mean, that's kind of the telltale sign, right?
People's labor.
Yeah, exactly. Kim has the time to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Because this person is working days, nights, weekends,
right,
and buying from the 99-cent store.
Right.
Now, whether or not Kim knows that specifically, I can't say. And I'm not trying to speculate on that. It could be the case. My bias, my hatred for the rich makes me think she absolutely knows, and she's over there on like the Xerxes throne, and she's cracking the whip, right? But unlikely. That's very unlikely.
Sure, because she pays somebody to crack the whip.
Exactly. Right. There is somebody cracking that whip. I don't know if it's Kim specifically. I don't know if Kim even knows. She probably had a person of a person of a person set that up, and she just knows that it's happening.
Right.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
She had a person of a person of a person set that up, and she gets to claim all the hard work.
Right.
When she really just threw money at it.
Exactly.
And threw her brand at it.
Right. And now I cannot say specifically that she had this person or this person or this person doing it, but it seems to me like without any actual knowledge there that would be the case.
Right.
It sounds like a valid hypothesis.
Because there's people whose job it is to set shit up like that. Like
exactly.
that is a career that exists.
Yep.
Is helping people set up the infrastructure for this, that, or the other thing. Those are people that get hired.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
the way you said it was perfect. It's so much easier to handle a situation when you can just throw money at it.
Right.
You throw money at it. You pay somebody else to handle that situation for you. You don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
You have a shit ton of this little green piece of paper.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or you got a shit ton of it on your fucking plastic card.
Right.
Or Venmo or whatever it is.
Right.
And you can just throw a chunk of it, which is pennies to you.
Right.
At somebody to handle all of this stuff for you, and you don't pay attention to it anymore.
Right.
So now they're making this girl run herself ragged.
Right.
For pennies.
Right.
On the chance that, this could be your big break. Mm-hmm. And still getting paid enough to make like the 99-cent store. Enough
to not to be able to put gas in her car to come into work.
Right. That's insane.
Right.
That's absolutely insane. And it just goes to show, like, she's never had that feeling of something breaking in her house and wondering where that money's coming from, because that bill is huge.
Right.
Like, last year I had to replace a drain trap in my house. It cost me like $1,800. And luckily, I had saved up enough that I could dig into it and it wasn't going to be a huge issue.
Right.
But I have been in positions before where a couple $100 was hard to come by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't know that feeling
at
all ever, I don't need your thoughts on whether or not
on how hard anybody needs to work
at all,
let alone women who are getting paid 75 cents on the dollar compared to men.
Exactly.
For everything that they're doing anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like that was the biggest thing about it, is like she targeted the group of people who en masse are being shit on the most when it comes down to how they're getting paid for their work. You know, rumor is, I didn't follow up on this at all whatsoever, but there was some posts on Twitter, and I will keep those anonymous because they do traverse into the perhaps libelous territory. But there were people on Twitter talking about how the people in other countries that actually manufacture her products are getting paid $100 a month.
Wow. Yikes. That would be something for us to look into a little further, because like you said, you didn't have an actual source for that. We can't speak specifically.
Right. But it tracks.
It does. Again, carrying that inherent bias and hatred I have, and some of the shitty stories that I've heard
it's just
from rich
standard
people over the
operating
years.
procedure for rich corporations to do that.
Where is Nike made?
Right.
Places where they pay $100 a month.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
They make, like, we know that's happening.
Right.
But the people in power are the ones doing it.
Right.
So it's okay.
Right. Exactly.
That's just the American dream.
Right.
But it's only achievable.
That's smart business.
Right. It's only achievable if you work really, really hard for me, or you were born into this family that was also rich.
And if you work really, really hard for me, it's probably not going to happen for you either. I hate to tell you. For the vast majority of you, it's not going to do it for you either.
Right.
You got to have money to make money.
Right.
You got to spend money to make money is the old adage, right?
Absolutely.
You got to spend money to make money. Got to spend money to make money. You got to have money to spend it.
Exactly. They say your second million or your first million is the hardest to make.
Right.
And
because
then once you have a million, it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
Far easier.
Just based off of my existence of throwing money into the stock market.
Yep.
You know,
it would be so much
and managing
easier.
that myself, like making money off of a $500 investment into the stock market is damn near impossible, at least in any kind of sufficient quantity.
Right.
When you have $5,000 in there, all of a sudden, like, it's possible to make some decent money now. Right. You know,
in short order, no less.
Yes. And if you can scale that up to hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, it's almost impossible to lose money. You have to have a massive economic crisis for it to happen at that point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
at that point, your politician has already told you it's coming.
Right.
So
exactly.
You go ahead and take your money out.
and she has already moved her investments around before she even told you.
That's right.
Nancy Pelosi. In case anybody was curious about who the she is, she makes a killing. She crushes the fucking stock market. If you want to make some money, probably follow Nancy Pelosi's investments and invest how she invests.
Well, there was the two senators last year, or I'm sorry, God, 2.5 years now, before the lockdowns with COVID, that pulled their shit out right beforehand.
Sure.
And they just happened to get out just before.
Right.
Right? If you're a normal citizen, I'm going to go ahead and congratulate you and tell you good luck.
Right.
If you're a fucking politician that could very well see this coming, I'm going to go ahead and call bullshit.
Hell, the politicians can make the fucking laws that make the thing coming.
Right. So, I mean, we've touched on that before. I don't think politicians should be allowed. You need to have somebody else completely set up and run your shit.
Yeah.
Throughout that, like, it's not going to happen.
Of course not.
But that needs to be. If pro football players can't bet on the outcome of the games,
right,
then you need to not be able to bet on the stock market.
Right.
Period.
Period.
Fucking period.
Right.
Yet another problem with what's wrong with this country. But one Twitter user described Kardashian's statement as rich-splaining.
Yeah.
Which is a great term.
Sure.
And it
touches
perfect. It is. It's perfect. So props to you. I believe her name is Michelle Amour. If I'm pronouncing that improperly, please let me know and I will clear that up. But yeah, rich-splaining. That's a great term. And like it reminded me of how the celebrities pretended they were just like us during COVID lockdown.
Sure.
Remember, we're all in this together.
We're all in this
spelled
together.
out in yachts.
Oh God, right.
In yachts. We are all in this together. Shelter in place, guys. We're all in this together. Madonna in a fucking bathroom full of rose petals, which This is the great equalizer. Really?
Right.
Really? You are showing more opulence in this picture than I've seen in my life.
Right.
Ever.
Ever.
Unless I'm watching MTV Cribs.
Right.
Right? You are showing more in that one picture than I've seen in my life, and you want to tell me great equalizer?
Sure.
Let me tell you. During COVID's lockdown, I was in my house, which is a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, not very large house. Spending my lockdown time in that, and spending my time with my family was great. I've publicly said it on this podcast.
Sure.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
But
those 9 days were amazing.
Right. Spending it there before I was labeled essential and had to come back to work.
Yeah.
Is a whole lot different. Like, it would have been a lot cooler if I was spending it in a mansion with a bowling alley, a lap pool, a basketball court, a fucking movie theater,
Right.
a rose petal filled bathtub. Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, go fuck yourself in this together. Like Ellen DeGeneres had one. We're like you, she says on her Instagram, as her servants sail her yacht into position. Yes, maybe I have a yacht, and you've only ever been on the storybook canal boats at Disneyland. But still, it's pretty much the same thing. As your staff puts your yacht into position.
Well,
Your yacht that has more square footage than my house.
Sure. Right. And
my house doesn't float.
Let's also like not brush over the fact that whatever she was talking about in terms of at Disneyland, there are a bunch of motherfuckers out there who would dream to be able to afford
to go to Disneyland.
Go to Disneyland, Disney World, any of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Like
that ticket's expensive, bro.
Those tickets are expensive, and they're really expensive now.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about carting a family of fucking, the parents, 2.3 kids, and the dog stays home, but
dog stays home.
And you keep the picket fence at home too. But like that's 4 or 5 tickets.
Last I looked, which was pre-COVID, Disney tickets just to walk in the park were $100.
Yeah.
Just to walk in the park.
And that's for the one day, right?
That's one day.
Right.
And that doesn't count your hotel accommodations. Like, I have been to Disney World. I was lucky enough to go one time.
Sure.
And we lumped in like my sister's birthday.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other things. Like, we didn't go on vacations for a while because we did this one.
Right.
And it was great. It was cool. And I'll never forget it. But like, when I grew up and started looking at what that vacation must have cost.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
And you want to talk about,
and that's,
it's pretty much
really
the same thing.
Like, I grew up with enough privilege that I was able to go to Disneyland a couple times as a kid, right? 2 or 3 times,
Rich
right?
boy.
Well, but it was the same thing.
Right.
Vacations were skipped for years and years and years in order to be able to afford this one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm coming at it from the perspective of knowing that fucking Disney World kicks ass. Like, it is a fun place to be.
Even as an adult, it's
Even
fun.
as an adult. I haven't been as an adult, but I'm imagining being what it was like when I was a kid, and I'm imagining going back and doing all of that stuff as an adult, and it's something that, like, I'd love to do.
Yep. I did it at 12 thinking, God, I haven't watched a Disney movie in years. This is going to be stupid. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm not going to turn around and pretend that is something that is accessible for everybody. I mean, I can't afford to do it now as an adult.
I could, but it would tank my savings.
Right.
And it would be like, I could afford to do a full family Disney vacation right now.
Yeah.
But it would put my savings in a position where I am now risking things I don't need to risk.
Right.
And that's the thing.
Right.
Ellen does not need to worry about that.
Right.
It's a drop in the bucket for her to send my family to Disney World.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She might have to sell her yacht.
I doubt it.
She might have to sell her yacht, John.
She might have to work for 2 fucking days, which accumulates to what, 3 hours of taping? I don't want to fucking hear it. Right? No. Kim Kardashian has to go and take 2 pictures.
Right.
And maybe post one of them on her Instagram. And she could send my entire family to Disney for the month.
Right.
And it wouldn't even bother. So, like, it makes me very angry when I hear this shit. This rich splaining, which is going to be my new thing.
Okay.
I like that.
You're going to be saying it all the time now, huh?
I'm taking it. I like it. Props to you, Michelle. Well played. But, like, you know, we keep hearing all this stuff about how, oh, we need to work harder. And every time I'm thinking it would be nice to, maybe we should be able to work harder, or maybe we should work harder, but at the stuff we actually want to do. Right. Think about what we could accomplish if everybody, or at least a vast majority of people that were willing to actually put in the work, got rewarded for it the way they should be.
Right.
Got compensated the way they should be.
Right.
And then they could put that hard work into something they're actually passionate about.
Right.
I make shitty music, right? But I love to make shitty music. And there are a few people out there that really like my shitty music. And I want to give them more music because it makes them happy. And I enjoy that. If I didn't have to work a job to pay for that on top of my house and all of the other things I have,
sure,
I could spend more time and learn to make better music so I could entertain more people and I could make more people happy. That should be the way that is. Because think
for
about
everybody on everything.
Right.
What is it that you do? Do you like to fucking whittle wood? Fucking I would love to buy some of your whittled wood if I could afford it making shitty music.
I've seen some amazing wood sculptures, dude. I'd be about that.
Yeah.
Everybody has things they're passionate about.
Right.
And most of us can't do them because we need to work for some rich-splaining asshole.
Yep.
And that fucking sucks. So today, I just wanted to spend a half hour ripping on that shit because when I read it, I almost threw my phone through the wall. But then I remembered I can't afford to buy a new one.
Right.
So I need to come up with healthier expressions for my rage.
You know, the thing that really got my goat was not so much that, because I already accept rich people saying shit like that, right? It's like I said earlier, it's how they're raised. It's the fantasy that they tell themselves in order to not feel like they're horrible people, right? But the one that really got my goat was this CNBC article that was posted out that the headline was "Right Message, Wrong Messenger." And it's like, no, it's just the wrong message.
Just the wrong message.
It's just the wrong message, because all of these people who are out here hustling their asses off trying to just make ends meet half the time are hustling their asses off just to make ends meet.
Right.
They're not able, even though they're hustling probably harder than Kim K has hustled a day in her fucking life. And they are not multimillionaires or billionaires. They're not seeing the gains of all of that hard work.
Fuck no.
And you know what? When people aren't seeing the gains of all of that hard work that they're doing just to make ends meet, why the fuck do you think people don't want to work anymore?
Absolutely. Why would you bother?
Right.
Why would you bother if you know full well that the cards are stacked against you?
Right.
Because at some point you start to look at it and you realize, yo, I am working my ass off, hustling my ass off just to make sure that I can do it again next month.
Right.
With the same situation.
Right.
And maybe, just maybe,
be able to poke a little bit of ways so that you don't die when you stop working.
Right. Right. Maybe
you'll be able to stop working one day.
Maybe you can spend a year or two, or maybe even 5 if you're lucky, without having to actually work.
Yeah.
When you are